sloppy, you daft cunt! Hey, you daft cunt! Sitting in the stato, the captain, the map inside in the SLC, sailing under the street light. Call it a land yacht, it's more than a joke. We cutting through the waves in the smoke that we soak. Sitting in the stato, the captain, the map inside in the SLCs, we're sailing under the street light. Call it a land yacht, it's more than a joke. We cutting through the waves in the smoke that we soak. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. Luxury deck, it's the streets that we're claiming. In the sea of cars, it's a throne that I'm aiming. Riding so low that I think that we're sinking. But in the shot, it's the freedom we're drinking. Toughen the fuck up, get your bitch shut up. We in the Holden Statman, land your land ho. Riding the wave, SLC now free. She's sitting pretty tight, got the cops chasing me. Airbags in the rear, drive around no fear. Big lumpy can fuck who you think I am. We got the batter on the windshield, headed to the meet. Showing up, jaws drop, no sign of defeat. Got the boys in convoy as we drive around. They can see some flashing lights, more fucking getting impaled. Stato sitting low, think we've gotten their attention. Pulled over yellow stickers, sitting in detention. 15 men on the dead man's desk. Go ho ho and the bottle of rum.
Hey guys, quick disclaimer, we'll be putting all models of luxury-based Holdens built on the same platform. This includes stock Statesmans, Capris, SLEs for generalization, and keep this video shorter. This video does not include the HSV Grunge series. Sorry for all those that wanted that. Alright, so to start off, the first Statesmans to come out was the HQ Statesman DeVille in 1971. They came with either a V8 or an inline 6, sold under the Chevrolet badge in other countries and sold in Japan as an Isuzu. Originally introduced on the 22nd of July 1971, designed to be the contender of the Ford Fairlane, they were sold all the way up until 1976, ceasing production of 1975, with the final sales being in Japan as Isuzus. Isuzu DeVille's is what they were called. They produced 7,389 units of these wonderful cars were built, but the next Statesman came around low. And the hit show floor in October 1974 was the Holden HJ Statesman DeVille. Stock fit with the 308 V8 being only the Australian car to fit into the US full-size car category, and the facial lifts to look more luxurious and Cadillac-like. For some premium versions, they were fitted with ABS and with drum brakes. They made approx 18,000 of these gangster-looking cars. Now, on to July of 1976. Correction. The HX Statesman DeVille shocked Australia. With in return of the 5-litre V8 and a minor facelift, this car sold an estimated 11,000 units, built and sold worldwide. Also sold under not just the Holden badge, but also Chevrolet badge. The HZ Statesman came next in November of 1977 with the fitment of all 4 disc brakes and the removal of ABS, and this wouldn't come back until the VQ Statesman. This became fitted with a nasty 5.7 litre V8 with an added bonus ride comfort over everything else, with a total of no known cars sold, but an estimated to be around 3,000 to 10,000 units built. The last Statesman DeVille to be sold in Australia wasn't sold under the Holden badge, but it was the Statesman WB, with minor redesign from previous generations to cut costs, introduced of May 1980, and the way the start of the end for the Statesman DeVille, with 8,505 units sold in the first generation and 5,422 units sold in the second generation. The second series included a front seat bench. The Statesman series saw the end in 1984. In March 1990, the re-emergence of the Statesman series came back, based off the V8 Commodore wagon platform. The VQ was introduced after the 6-year leave of the Statos. The VQ came optioned with the V6 or V8. They were equipped with independent rear suspension. They built an estimate 6,180 of these units. 4 years later, in March 1994, the VR Statesman was sent to Holden dealerships. They produced 174 horsepower with the revised V6 Buick 3.8 litre, with the improved rolling element bearings being placed in the valve rocker arms. The VR Statesman was the first Statesman to come stock with the V8, with the Capri model having the option of the V6. Correction, the first Statesman to come stock with the V6, not a V8, with the Capri model having an option of the V6. They were stock with the V8. and driver's airbag became standard on Statesman and Capri models. They produced an estimate of 4,870 of these wonderful built vehicles. The VS Statesman came in April of the next year. Looking similar to previous two models, it saw the introduction of the first 3.8-litre Ecotec, a revised version of the 3.8-litre Buick. It brought new wheels, and the second series of these cars brought along the L67 supercharged V6, having more horsepower than the first-gen Ecotec and 4 less horsepower than the Hungary V8, sitting 221 horsepower stock. The key remote was introduced along with the passenger side airbags. This car produced an estimated 19,898 units. In June of 1999, the WH Statesman joined the leagues, being the first complete revamp of the previous models. Coming with the stock 3.8-litre V6, a supercharged version, a third-generation V8 that produced a mighty 295 horsepower. It had control ABS, an automatic glass tint view mirror that adjusted by itself. They produced 21,755 units of the WH before the WK rolled out in 2003. Now, the WK was released in May of 2003. It had another slight over to match look over the VY, borrowing the headlights of the VY Calais, and the new V8 produced 315 horsepower. The new Capri V8 carried 329 horsepower. Structural change happened, making them 70% safer for front-end collisions. They built 4,974 units, estimate. The WL was released not too long after, in August of 2004, based on the VZ. It came in stock with a new alloyed engine, brake assist with a 5-speed automatic gearbox. Came optioned with 329 horsepower V8 or more powerful 335.7 horsepower V8 engine. They were exported to China, sold under the Buick badge as the ultimate luxury car in China. They produced 37,217 estimate. Capri models selling 30,741 alone in units estimation. The WM was released on the 16th of July 2006. They produced all the way up until 2013 of Holden's closures for the Statesman. Alongside the WN, they had a minor upgrades to the standard. That is incorrect, I've read that. They were produced all the way up until 2013. Alongside the WN, they had minor upgrades to the standard VE of the time. The last Statesman sell was in 2011, only selling 2 that year. All further sales were Capris that dwindled in coming year, and it was V6 powered. Early models produced 274 horsepower, later models produced 282 horsepower. They were exported as Daewoo, Chevys, Buicks, depending on what location they were going. Daewoo's were for Korea, Chevys, America, Buicks for the rest of the world. And Chevys were also for South Africa, I believe. Now, in later models, the Capri V was only sold with the V8, while the standard Capri was meant to replace the Statesman. They were exported as police cars to the US under the name Chevrolet Capri PPVs, using the Omega dashboard and lower equipment for police cars. Alternatives, they produced 18,667 units during their lifespan. WN was released in 2013. They were the safest Capri by far, with a short wheelbase, touchscreen pad. They had 349 horsepower with a standard V8, the resemblance to the VF, and by 2015, the new V8 had 408 horsepower. It had a 6-speed automatic and was the ultimate Australian luxury car. They produced 5,160 units, roughly, of the last Capris, which closed in 2017, I believe. Holden closed in 2017. And the Capri stopped selling in 2015, the last year, 2016, the last year, I believe. One of those 2 years. I forgot to place that in, but it was one of those 2 years because they didn't sell them all the way up until 2017. If you like this video, give me a like and a subscribe, and leave me a comment down below on what you want to see next. And if you want to see more Australian car content, go watch some of my other videos. Anyway, this has been the Pelican Man, and I hopefully will see you in the next video.